Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me all right? Testing, testing. Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Good? It's Friday. Thank God. It's crazy how fast the weeks are flying. We're already August 7, dude. I feel like we were just celebrating New Year's. What did you do for New Year's this year, George?
Can't remember. Bro.
You can't remember? I guess that's a good thing, right? I guess that's a good sign. What the hell did I do this year for New Year's? I can't remember either. I have no fucking clue.
Far away.
Let me see. Let me check my phone. See if I have any photos from. What the hell did I? And if I ask my wife, bro, she probably knows instantly. Oh, I remember. We did a house in Texas.
Was with your brother and everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough.
Steve coming on today?
Steve should be here. Unless he got bit by a crocodile. What's up, Rami? How are you? Good morning, Tim, Robin.
How's everybody doing today?
Morning, good morning. Praveen. Me and George went on an adventure this morning.
There's some special videos coming out for you guys.
Good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in a few minutes. Clemente, how are you? Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes. Crazy on that CLRO, huh? I checked back in at the end of the day with George, and I saw it at 17, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. It's kind of come back down to reality now. A pretty crazy move. So we're going to start here in a couple minutes, guys. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Morning, everyone. What time do you guys usually wake up your local time? I know everyone's from all around the world. What is your local time that you guys usually wake up? 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 7:30, 5, 4:30. Wow, good shit. Wow. 5:30. Isn't that crazy? Like time zones all around the world. 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m. Oof.
Who has the best time zone for the market, pre-market, and
Who has the best time zone? I mean, you got to ask Steve. Let's actually ask Steve that question because Steve's been all around the world.
yeah?
So he knows all the time zones. Wherever the hell he is. I mean, I like the New York time zone because it allows you to like sleep in a little bit. You're done at like 4 o'clock ish, you know. But then again, the California time zone is a lot tougher, but then you finish earlier, but it's tough. That's a really,
Right.
really early morning. Yeah, West Coast lets me trade the open and work a job, but trading pre-market is a little bit early. Yeah, for sure. Let's ask Steve what he thinks is the best time zone.
It depends if you're a full-time trader or you have another job, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like in California, you could be trading pre-market and then going to work, doubling your
Yeah.
income, or working part-time, whatever it may be. We'll get started here in a couple minutes, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Good morning. Happy Friday. TGIF. Adam says he's at work right now.
Yeah. Alex is finally done with his antibiotics.
I just finished my antibiotics after 10 days. Me and George are getting a nice bottle of wine tonight. Oh, we got to add that to the counter. Let's see. We'll see how much money we have left over.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Steve?
Not much.
So we were
Heard you
just
guys
talking.
talking about time zones.
Yeah, we were talking about time zones. What do you think is the best time zone for trading now that you've kind of traveled the world?
So funny because I was talking to Areg about this yesterday. So, like you mentioned, if you have a day job, and you go to work at whatever 8 or 9, California is probably, or even Hawaii might be good, but California is the best time because market opens at 6:30, so you're done 7:30, right? If you're like me and you don't have a day job, you're just trading or whatever. Here's what I like. My top time zone is probably Iceland, UK, because the market's like, I think Iceland was like 12:30, but definitely 2:30 in the UK, which is nice. Next, I like the East Coast because 9:30 a.m., you're up at, not too early, but then you're done for the day, which is nice. Europe and Turkey is okay, kind of tough, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. because it can cut into your dinner. Asia is like late at night. That's a little tough. Here in Australia, 11:30 p.m. and then half year, 1:30 a.m. That's really tough because you end up sleeping till noon every day. So California also really tough if you're not a morning person like me. So I like East Coast and UK.
East Coast and UK. Yeah, I like East Coast too. Because for a while I was like, I would prefer to kind of even be on the West Coast because I remember Bao saying that like he'd be done trading at 1 p.m. and he's like, my friends are still at work, so I would just go to the bar at 1. And for me, the way I would think about it is like you wake up a little bit earlier in the morning, but your day is done. So even if you wake up
Right.
early and your trading day is done at 1 by the latest, you could take like a 2-hour nap and it'll still only be 3 o'clock.
Right, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I'll be in California next week. It's kind of cool in some ways. I'm just tired, but then 11 a.m., 12 p.m. You're kind of like, what am I supposed to do now? It's
Right.
really a weird feeling to be done for the day, but it's
Right.
nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now there you have it, guys. Yeah, Bao I think was at the bar earlier. Yeah, definitely. So let's get started here, guys. So good morning, everyone. Welcome back to live trading. If this is your first time on live trading, welcome. We are using the webinars channel in Slack to communicate. As you guys know, we stream live every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 9:29 a.m. We build the watch list, we talk about what's moving in the market, and then at 9:30, we cut off the stream on YouTube and reserve it for MIC members. So coming into this morning, it's Friday. Happy Friday. Market's been moving. We've had a lot of action. It's not been a dead market. It's not been a slow market. It's been a pretty busy market, I would say. So plan is the same as always, is to stick to the process and walk away. Yesterday we traded CLRO. I made about $2,900 on CLRO. And the entire time that I was talking about CLRO, I was saying that it felt so manipulated. There was a lot of things going on there. I didn't feel comfortable. It was trapping. It was this, that, the other thing, right? I was very, very nervous of the stock based on the price action that I saw. And if you kind of, fast forward a little bit, it ended up kind of cratering down, right? And then just kind of flatlined all day, right? It kind of flatlined all day. And in my head, I was like, oh, this thing is dead. Like nothing's going to happen. Like it's broken, like whatever. And then all of a sudden, I look back and this thing went from literally $9 to $17.50. And I was like, George, this is what I meant when I thought that something was going on here. It's almost like they set a trap to release that trap after hours. So at first I was really frustrated because I was like, was I overthinking? Was I getting in my own head? Was I just nervous? Was I not executing properly? So I started to doubt myself because look, the money is the money, right? 2,900, 2,800, whatever the number was is fine. But my whole thought process is, what can I do to get better, right? Every single day. So I started to doubt myself and started to think, am I missing something? Did I not execute this properly? And then when I came back and it was around like 5 or 6 p.m. when I saw that, I showed George and I was like, George, look at this stock. And he's like, holy shit. So it turns out that I wasn't crazy. I was seeing the trap. I was seeing what's happening, which maybe made me a little bit more happy and confident with the way that I executed it. You know what I'm saying? So I was very, very annoyed when I was done with the trade. And then towards the end of the day, I was very happy because my thought process was proven correct. You know what I'm saying? So CLRO, they laid the trap, and now it's kind of coming back down. Today, now it becomes a day 2 low-hanging fruit. The problem is it might still be a little bit trappy. So I'll kind of watch the price action. I would probably use a little bit less size than normal, unless it, does exactly what I want. But CLRO is definitely going to be a watch for me. Also, we have this DSY moving. This move here from, 6 to 7 looks like some sort of pump and dump type of move. First, you see the pump, and then you see the dump. So this right here, I don't think is organic price action. This right here is a straight up pump and dump. So, that's something to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, coming into this morning, it's Friday. Just looking to trade well. Just looking to do my best. At the end of the day, it's the same process every day. I wake up and like a robot, I do the same thing every day. I look at which stocks are moving, which stocks have the attention, which stocks do not, and then hopefully try to get a bounce on the ones that are broken. That's it, every day. What I would do in the past is I would always try to, find and attack. I would always try to find and attack the stocks that were up the most on the day. So when I first started trading, I thought that the stock that had the highest percentage gain was the best opportunity. But then I learned, through the market changing, that oftentimes the highest percentage gainer is sometimes the most trappy because it has all the attention. What you have to remember is these stocks move based on hype. They don't move based on anything else. So if you know that these stocks are hyped up, the main thing is understanding that this day and age, the market has changed. So no longer do I want to trade the top percentage gainers of the day. No longer do I want to attack the hot stock of the day. I only want to focus on the stocks that are broken. Sometimes I'm human. I screw up. Maybe I start to trade day 1 stocks. But if I ever trade day 1 stocks, it's with a very, very small size. So coming into this morning, I definitely do see a bunch of stocks moving. We're going to get into the plan now. But overall, I want to remind you guys that our goal is not to trade the craziest, biggest, baddest, most insane stock, right? It's like Bao says, we're not trying to slay the dragon, right? We're not trying to fight Mike. So actually, this is a really good example is if you want to fight Mike Tyson, right? You don't want to fight the Mike Tyson from 20 years ago, man. You want to fight the Mike Tyson that Jake Paul fought, right? So Mike Tyson from 20 years ago is like the big, bad, crazy stock that has all the attention, all the runner, and all the momentum. Chances are Mike Tyson's going to knock you out 20 years ago. But the Mike Tyson now that's done mushrooms, DMT, marijuana, all these things that Jake Paul fought is the Mike Tyson that you want to fight, right? So you have to wait.
60 years old.
Yeah, 60 years old, you know, guy can barely see straight. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still don't want to fight that Mike Tyson. He scares the shit out of me.
He'll still hurt me. He'll still hurt me.
Yeah, he'll still hurt me. But at least you have a chance, right? At least you have a chance. And that's all we need, man. What's the New York lottery saying? All you need is $1 and a chance, right? So let me sip this coffee and we'll get started. So let's get started here, guys. So first things first is the same thing we do every day is we look at the previous day's watch list. It's like a robot, man. I mean, for you guys that have been here for however many years, if you see, it's the same shit every day, man. Every day I'm saying the same thing. And, you know, I've had people message me, it's like, why do you keep saying the same thing? Because the same thing works. The same thing works. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get started. So first things first, we look at the yesterday's watch list. The reason why we look at the previous day's watch list is because the stocks from yesterday still may be in play today. And we don't want to forget about it. INLF. INLF, not enough volume anymore, flatlining. So something to keep in mind, guys, I don't want to trade low volume stocks. I don't want to trade stocks that have no range. I am not waking up pre-market at 5 a.m. to pump these nano float stocks. That's not what we do here. So I need volume. I need volume and I need range. This shit is flatlining, right? It's like George's pulse right here, right? What you're seeing here is George's pulse. It's flatlining. You know, someone's got to revive him. But for me, that's not interesting at all. I'm not interested in a dead, boring stock. So next, JLHL, same thing, low volume, flatlining, so nothing there. ZYBT, you know, kind of came back up a little bit. The problem is the range is a little bit too tight. So what I mean by the range being too tight is there's not enough room to make money. You know, it's just kind of consolidating in a tight range. And to me, that means that there's not really much opportunity. So ZYBT is nothing. PAVS, this is yesterday's stock that was moving, pushed up all the way to 12 and came back down to 6. You know, in a perfect world, I wouldn't mind shorting a bounce to like 750. So 750, 8, and 850 on PAVs. PAVS, low-hanging fruit, looking for a bounce toward 750, 8, 850, too short. WYHG, oh my God, dude, this one was bananas. So this was a stock that was taking all of the attention yesterday. It went from $3 to $26. That is insane. That is insane. So for me, seeing a big move like this gave me confidence on CLRO to attack. What you have to remember is most of these trades that are happening, usually there's one main runner and there's a bunch of other plays that are kind of happening. So when I saw this WYHG moving like crazy, you know, it gave me the confidence that this would be the main runner of the day. And as you can see here, I mean, if you just draw this support line here, you can see kind of this like 15-ish area, right? 15, 15, 15. So once it broke 15, it cratered 50%, which is absolutely unreal. So in a perfect world, I would love a big bounce on this. The problem is that this has so much range, so much range. And for me, because this has so much range, I have to, number one, use less size, and number two, wait for it to kind of go higher. So on a scenario like this, you know, I'll probably wait for like a red to green rejection and then reassess it. So WYHG, low-hanging fruit stock. Stock has wide range. So must use less size. Ideally, a bounce toward red to green and a rejection to short this. What else is there? CLRO. CLRO was yesterday's play that I said was trapping pretty aggressively. They might have squeezed everyone out into the after hours. You know, it kind of set a lower high this morning and then kind of started to fail off. I wouldn't mind, trying some at the VWAP area, this 1250, because look here, guys. If you look here, resistance, 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 resistance. Then resistance turns into support, support, resistance. So this 1250 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 instances of 1250 failing. So where do I want to at least take a starter? 1250, right? So I'll probably take a starter on the CLRO around 1250. So low hanging fruit again. You can see 1250 resistance on the chart. Just draw a line. So ideally, I will look to take a starter around 1250 and add only if I am proven right. Next is, let's move on to what's moving today. AZI was moving, but that kind of came back down, so not really much interest there. MB, pretty high price stock. I'm not really good at these high price stocks, so nothing really there. NAMI, NAMI, again, a little bit of a higher price stock. This one might have some money flow. Chinese stock as well. So NAMI, potential money flow stock. Ignoring short. And last but not least is DSY. So DSY, you can see, again, lower flow company, has a history of running, Chinese company, this is just absolutely insane. So it is a former runner. So you gotta just be really, really careful on this. What I see here on this DSY is, there's some support in like the 520s-ish area. You can see support, support, support. So in a scenario like this, I probably just wait to see a breakdown. I'm not too obsessed with this one. I would feel a lot more comfortable, on a bounce like CLRO. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking coming into today. So let me actually type that out. 1 second. So DSY, potential money flow as well. Waiting for more information, then we'll attack. So overall, main watches are the stocks that are broken from yesterday. WYHG and CLRO being the top picks of the day, hopefully if they bounce. And yeah, so with that being said, before I continue, I want to talk about our partner broker. So the broker that I'm using, the broker that Steve's using, the broker that everyone's using in MIC to be able to short these stocks is not Schwab, it's not E-Trade, it's not Robinhood. You need a specialized broker to be able to trade these things. So the broker that I'm using is Cobra Trading. It's actually crazy to say, I was like one of their first 10 customers back in the day, which is absolutely insane. They've been really, really awesome. I've tried every single broker out there. And they have a really big promo going on right now, where if you sign up, you will get 30 days of free commissions. You will get $500 in locate fee credits. And we would be selecting 5 people to come trade live with me in person in an undisclosed location. And if you don't have the minimum for Cobra Trading, which is $10,000, their sister company Big Trades has a $2,500 minimum, and you will get a $200 locate fee credit. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the baton over here to Steve, and we'll get started live trading here in the next couple minutes. So Steve, the floor is yours, man. We'll get started.
Sounds good. Cool. So first of all, come join us in webinars and Slack. If you guys are not in webinars, if you've got a trial, check your email, look for the Slack invite, or email me and I'll send it again. But I resent them all this morning. StephenRH1@myinvestingclub.com. It's kind of funny because I get a lot of members who, or they're on a trial that only includes live trading, and they ask a lot of questions that we could really help them with if they had full access, right? So it's like, hey, what do I do about my risk management or making proper plans, et cetera? So we've got a ton of resources inside Slack. But if you're not in Slack, it's hard to kind of share all those resources because they're all in Slack, right? Okay, so first I want to share with you guys here just the basic info I share every day about the Orlando Bootcamp. Make sure you guys are signed up. Platinum signs up for free. There's still some VIP dinner left. These are sponsorship tickets. All the info is here. If you're listening and you want to attend, if you're not in Slack, again, just email me and I'll send it to you. StephenRH1@myinvestingclub.com. Cool. So now I want to talk about some questions that I've been getting a lot of lately. And I want to share some, I'm going to share some of these questions. We're going to do like we did a couple of days ago. I'm going to share some of these questions, and then I'm going to share today's topic, which is basically just getting the most out of the live sessions. So first of all, kind of like I alluded to a couple minutes ago, if you're just listening in and you don't have access to Slack, I recommend when Alex is making his watch list, you write down the plays, right? Write down what he just said, which is this ticker. I'm gonna, look to short at these lines or whatever he's watching. I suggest you write it down if you're not in Slack, because I'm getting questions from members who are not in Slack saying, well, I don't know what he's gonna trade. I only heard him say, I'm in now, and I don't know what stock he's talking about. So like, a lot of this is gonna come with more than one session, right? You're gonna get the hang of it after you've been doing this, even for a week. But if you're in Slack, you could see the watch list. If you can't see the watch list, look at the chart in front of you on Zoom. You can zoom into it with those 3 buttons on the top. Just click it, click 150%, 200%. Right in the middle of his charts, you can see CLRO, right? You can see the tickers. He's already laid out the plans. So if you don't see the watch list, write it down so you know, or look at the lines on his chart. Those are also his plans. So anyway, here's some questions. I want to kind of rapid fire these. So these are real questions and kind of topics. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I think, and the reason I'm addressing them is because I think others might have the same question, right? So somebody said that they hear us talking about percentages, okay? And I think that here was the confusion, and that this is what I want to clarify. Somebody said they hear Alex saying 5% or 10% starters, he's in, and then he's in another 5 or 10%. And then later he's adding, but I don't know how much he's adding. So I want to be clear, the members who have been at this for a little while, we all know that's why he doesn't do it, because kind of like the topic I went over in detail yesterday, when the stock is above VWAP, when the stock is front side, we all know front side, back side. This is another topic I go into a lot of detail on. Then generally speaking, we never want to be more than 30% size, right? If we start confirming backside, lower high, lower low, we crack VWAP, key support, and Alex says, I'm adding. I don't need to know, it's 5 or 10%. I know he's trying to get to a lot more than 30%, right? So the time to be aggressive is after the stock confirms, after it's under VWAP. The starters are before that, front side, when it's above VWAP. So anyways, I just want to be clear on that. I know that if you're brand new, it might be a little complicated, but stick around a little while, watch my segments. I go over all these topics in detail. Next question I had is why, okay, this was kind of a 2-part question. Why doesn't Alex say his exact size so I can follow him? Okay, so this is something we cover every week or two, but I know there's a lot of new members. Alex's size is a lot different than my size, is a lot different than your size, right? Especially if you're new. If you're new and just getting used to everything, I recommend, 100 shares, right? 100 shares. Maybe max loss for the day is $100, something like that. So it can go against your dollar. You got your max loss at $1, $100. So Alex's size might be a lot more shares, 20,000 shares, maybe more, maybe less, but it's a lot more shares. If Alex said his exact size, I'm in 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, 20,000 shares, I could guarantee how many members like the gentleman who asked me this question would like to follow him, but don't have an account size or comfort level to watch it go against them a few pennies, which would be their entire account. So I hope that makes sense. Then the next question was, why doesn't Alex show his sizing on his montage? And we can't share the montage at level 2 without having a subscription for everybody legally, and also refer to my previous answer, right? Okay, next one was, he might be 100% sometimes, but it looks like he was 1,000% sized because he made 62,000. Okay, Alex's size, his max that he's willing to put on that ticker is always 100%. Okay, if you're new, your 100% is 100 shares. Okay, so we're talking in terms of the percentage size, right? He's never more than 100% because 100% is the max size he's willing to put on that trade. You decide the size for the trade based on the setup, your comfort level, your account level, your skill level, right? So again, if you're newer, think 100 shares. So he's never more than 100%. There's no such thing as 1,000%. If he says he's 10%, then you do the math for your account size for your plan, which again is 100 shares if you're new, and you put 10 shares on. So I just want to hopefully clarify some of that stuff. The last question I kind of addressed earlier was, I can't see his charts. So again, I described how to zoom in. 3 buttons on the top. You can click it. You could hit whatever size you want. I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to share this, but I'm not going to get into it. Feel free to read it. Reach out if you guys have any questions. It's kind of covering everything else about the live sessions and how to get the most out of it. So thanks, guys. Any questions at all? Or if you guys want to deal to join, anything at all, just email me if you're on YouTube Live, StephenRH1@myinvestingclub.com. Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. So we're going to start live trading here. So I'm going to cut off the stream on YouTube and get to live trading now for the members.